Who is the world's most dangerous army? Those Gorkhas who frightened China, crushed Pakistan, and destroyed the lives of terrorists. From 1981 to today, the same slogan is echoed, Jai Mahakali, long live the Gorkhas. Gorkha Regiment. You may have met many who fear death, but even death trembles before some. You may have met many who fear defeat, but there are some who even defeat shies away from. You may have met many who fear fear, but today we will introduce you to those whom even fear fears. Friends, we are talking about the Gorkha Regiment. A person says that he is not afraid of death, and either he is lying or he is a Gorkha. These are the words of the first Field Marshal of the Indian Army, Sam Manaksh. Although the Indian Army is cited as an example all over the world, different regiments have their own importance. Among these, the Gorkha Regiment is mentioned the most. This is a regiment that is not only exemplified by other regiments of the Indian Army, but also by soldiers from other countries. Not just today, but since the Second World War, the bravery and tactics of the Gorkhas have been feared by armies around the world. Once they encounter an enemy army, only their corpses return. They completely destroy the enemy and are considered extremely loyal and brave to their country and army. After hearing so much about this regiment, many questions may arise in your mind, such as when and how was this regiment formed? What was it like before independence? How was it merged with the Indian Army? How did this regiment help in war? And what is its speciality? So, let's begin the glorious saga of the Gorkha Regiment. The origins of the Gorkha Regiment. The Gorkhas are a Nepalese tribe with a very aggressive nature. They are willing to sacrifice their lives to defend their own territory. Therefore, the word Gorkha also means protector. The Gorkha Regiment has a distinguished history. Tracing the history of the Gorkha soldiers in the Indian Army begins with the Treaty of Sugoli, deep in the Gorkha mountainous region. However, even before this, the Gorkhas were inducted as soldiers into the army of the Sikh Empire by Maharaja Ranjit Singh in 1809. While the Gorkhas served the Sikh army, they failed to establish a significant identity there. The Gorkhas were recognized by the British when the Treaty of Sugoli was signed in 1816 after the Anglo-Nepalese War. This treaty stipulated that Nepalese Gorkhas could enlist in the British Indian Army. There's a fascinating story behind this. Let's explore it. This treaty was signed between the East India Company and the Nepalese monarchy after the Anglo-Nepalese War, which lasted from 1814 to 1816. In the 18th century, when the East India Company was expanding its influence in India, it also clashed with Nepal over border areas. At this time, Nepal, along with its Gorkha soldiers, was also engaged in border expansion. In 1767, the British sent 2,500 soldiers to stop them. However, in the mountainous terrain and harsh winter, all the British soldiers were killed in the battle with the Gorkhas. The British retreated in this battle, but they did not accept defeat. They continued to fight the Gorkhas intermittently. However, in 1814, a decisive war broke out between the Gorkhas and the British, which lasted until 1816. This war took place in Uttarakhand. It was fought in the Nalapani area of the fort, where Captain Balbhadra Kunwar was present with 600 fighters. Half of these 600 men were women and children. Their weapons consisted of a few indigenously made guns and bullets, some bows and arrows, spears, and some cast cannons that were being cast by artisans inside the fort. Furthermore, they had a huge pile of stones that had been collected to rain down on the British army from above. On the other side, 350,000 British soldiers surrounded the fort, along with around 1,000 reserve soldiers. They were armed with modern weapons, including guns and long-range cannons. In this battle, which lasted for months, the Gorkha soldiers gave the British a tough fight, but ultimately the British, outnumbered and equipped with modern weapons, prevailed. However, this defeat was unbearable for Balbhadra. He was a Gorkha, and he considered victory or death his motto in battle. Therefore, he considered it better to join the army of Maharaja Ranjit Singh than surrender to the British. He later earned considerable fame in the Sikh Wars. Although the East India Company may have won that war against the Gorkhas, they were astonished by the Gorkhas' courage. When they saw the Nepalese Gorkhas fighting, they were astonished by their courage and bravery. Therefore, the British did not treat them like defeated soldiers. Instead, they recognized their valor, and British General Sir David Ochterlony offered them to join the British Army. Thus, the 1st Battalion of the Gorkha Rifles was raised in the British Army, and from here began the journey of a glorious regiment. Regarding this regiment, the British prince once said, "In the world there is only one secure place, that is when you are among the Gorkhas." General David Ochterlony of the British East India Company took a gamble by recruiting his enemies into his army. But this move proved immensely beneficial for them. These soldiers from Nepal played a significant role in establishing the British Army's foothold in India. Whether it was the Anglo-Sikh War or the Afghan War, the British Army used these Gorkhas in battle to conquer all of India. By 1914, 10 regiments of Gorkha Rifles had been established in the British Indian Army. The Gorkha regiments established by the British played a significant role in the Commonwealth forces during both World Wars, seeing action everywhere from Montesino in the west to the Tropic of Cancer in the east. Furthermore, the German Corps was impressed by the way the Gorkha regiments fought their enemies during the North African campaign. The German Corps even awarded the Gorkhas a certificate in their honor. The Gorkhas returned with honor from every battle they fought. After India's independence, the Treaty of Sugoi was transformed into a tripartite treaty in November 1947. According to this, the Gorkhas of Nepal were given the option of serving in the Indian Army or going to the UK. The Gorkha Regiment was also divided. The 1st, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 8th, and 9th Gorkha Rifles were incorporated into the Indian Army, while the British decided to retain the 2nd, 6th, 7th, and of the Gorkha regiments. The British Army decided that joining the British Army would be entirely up to the Gorkha soldiers. They decided to hold a vote for this. As a result, a large number of soldiers in the 7th Gorkha Rifles and the 10th Gorkha Rifles refused to join the British. They wanted to remain in the Indian Army. Consequently, the Indian Army decided to establish a new battalion for these soldiers, the 11th Gorkha Rifles. After this, the Gorkha Regiment displayed its courage in many wars and won many medals. So let's discuss the contribution made by the Gorkhas for India and the Indian Army. Contribution of Gorkha Regiment. The bravery of Gorkha soldiers is not a thing of today but is centuries old. Whenever there is a need somewhere, Gorkhas are definitely deployed there. Since 1947, the regiment has been a part of various peacekeeping missions of the United Nations in different countries of the world. During the 1961 Congo War, Captain Gurbachan Singh Salaria of the 3rd Gorkha Regiment proved the Gorkha soldiers' mission a reality. Captain Salaria single-handedly killed 61 enemy soldiers with his khukri horse-like weapon and ultimately attained martyrdom. Furthermore, Captain Salaria played a key role in the Indian peacekeeping force in Sri Lanka and participated in peacekeeping missions in Lebanon and Sierra Leone. The Gorkhas also participated valiantly in the 1962 war against China and the 1965 and 1971 wars against Pakistan. During the 1971 Indo-Pak War, during the Battle of Sylhet, the Gorkhas were the first Indian soldiers to launch a helicopter attack. In all the wars fought against Pakistan and China, the Gorkhas have proven their indomitable courage and bravery in the face of the enemy. The Gorkha Regiment has been decorated with numerous medals and honors for its valor in these wars. The Gorkha Regiment won a large number of Victoria Cross medals before independence. Even after India's independence, brave Gorkha soldiers have repeatedly demonstrated their valor on the battlefield. Narbahadur Thapa, the first recipient of the Ashoka Chakra in independent India, belonged to the Gorkha Regiment. Furthermore, Gorkha Regiment soldiers have been awarded 3 Paramvir Chakras, 33 Mahavir Chakras, and 84 Vir Chakras. With 3,000 Gorkha soldiers divided into 9 regiments across 39 battalions, India boasts numerous valiant warriors who have served the nation, from former Indian Army Chief General Dalbir Singh Suhag to former CDS and Army Chief General Bipin Rawat to CDS Lieutenant General Anil Chauhan, all belong to the 11th Gorkha Rifles. This has been discussed about their contributions. Now, let's discuss the uniqueness of this regiment. What makes the Gorkha Regiment special? Friends, when it comes to the Gorkha Regiment specialties, the first motto that comes to mind is Kair Hunu Banda Murnu Ramro, meaning, it is better to die. Mahakali Ayo Gorkhali. The Gorkha Regiment is always ready to take on the enemy and opposing forces. Gorkhas deeply revere Goddess Kali or Goddess Durga. According to Gorkha soldiers, Goddess Kali empowers them. This slogan instills enthusiasm within them. When Gorkhas chant their slogans on the battlefield, the enemy trembles with fear. It is said that when devotion and strength combine, a Gorkha is born. From the training of Gorkha soldiers to their deployment, devotion plays a vital role. The sole goal of Gorkha soldiers on the battlefield is to wipe out the enemy. With this war cry, Captain Manoj Pandey uprooted the enemy in the Kargil War. With this war cry, Paramvir Chakra winner Captain Salaria attained martyrdom. And with this war cry, Major Dan Singh Thapa introduced the Chinese to Indian bravery in the 1962 war. Even the bravest of soldiers are terrified by hearing this war cry. Their other speciality is their weapon. Although the world has invented countless weapons, new technologies, and new equipment, all the world's weapons are on one side, and the Gorkha soldier's special weapon is on the other. This special weapon not only protects them but also symbolizes their honor, and that weapon is called the khukri. It is said that once a Gorkha khukri is unsheathed on the battlefield, it is never put back without drinking the blood of the enemy. Gorkhas associate their khukri with their honor. They keep it as spotless and shiny as their honor, as sharp as their loyalty and courage. The Gorkhas' khukri is directly linked to their religious beliefs. Gorkhas believe that the khukri is a part of Lord Shiva's trident, and they respect it like Shiva. In essence, the khukri is the history of the Gorkhas. It's an identity, a respect. It's a part of their uniform. Without a khukri, they don't feel complete, and if they have one, the enemy is completely unstoppable. The sight of a khukri drawn from its sheath sends shivers down the spine of an enemy. It might look like a dagger or a sword, but upon closer inspection, it's truly fascinating. The khukri can vary in length, but its structure is more or less the same. The khukri is accompanied by two weapons, a chakmak, a sharp-edged weapon. This is primarily used to sharpen the khukri. It also serves as a firelighter. Every Gorkha soldier is given two types of khukris, one for use as a weapon and the other for ceremonial purposes. This weapon is given to them upon completion of their training. But it's not just that Gorkha soldiers are adept at wielding khukris. In fact, their hands move with the gun as swiftly as they fire a khukri. Besides the khukri, the Gurkhas' third distinctive feature is their distinctive hat. The slanted cap that rests atop their heads still adorns the heads of these valiant soldiers with the same grace and grandeur despite the passing years. But have you ever wondered why Gorkha soldiers wear their hats with such finesse? Friends, this hat is called the Gorkha Terai hat. This signature headgear derives its name from the Terai region of Nepal. The wide-brimmed hat, worn during guard duty and parades, is made of khaki-colored felt. The chin strap that holds the hat together is tilted downward on the right side so that the brim touches the ear. You may ask why it is worn this way? It's a tradition. However, there are other reasons as well. Gorkha soldiers are typically smaller in stature. This explains the shorter strap, making them look like other soldiers. The size of the cap and strap is unchanged for any soldier and is kept consistent with Gorkha tradition. The cap strap is placed just below the lips, which are always taut, making it difficult to speak. This reminds them to speak with their actions, not their mouths. Today there are 14 Gorkha training centers in the country. The martyrs who sacrificed their lives in defense of the country have always held these centers proud. After training and fearlessness, Gorkha soldiers become invincible, victorious warriors. Gorkha soldiers undergo a rigorous 42-week training program, which strengthens them physically and mentally and prepares them to serve the country in any situation. The training includes training in the use of weapons, from small to large. The most important training involves face-to-face combat, where they are taught to defeat the enemy from the front. India's various Gorkha rifle regiments are collectively known as the Gorkha Brigade for logistical purposes. The proximity of the border with India and the shared cultural history are clearly reflected in the Gorkha Regiment. At one time, this regiment only recruited soldiers from Nepal, but now Gorkha soldiers from India's mountainous regions are also recruited from Uttarakhand to the northeast. Coming from mountainous regions, Gorkhas adapt to any conditions and maintain their composure, conquering the enemy under all circumstances. The valor of the Gorkhas is such that they are present in countries other than the British Army and the Indian Army. The Sultan of Brunei has a special world. Gorkha soldiers, while seemingly simple, are equally ferocious in the face of the enemy. Such is the Gorkha. They have two faces. One is disciplined and the other is a face of fear for the opponents. Be it an anti-terror operation or a war being fought in any corner of the world, hearing the name of Gorkha, the enemy loses half the battle right there. So friends, in conclusion, this was the Gorkha Regiment, which is the pride of the Indian Army for 207 years. Every Gorkha soldier is a symbol of that supreme tradition, where the country comes first. From their inception till now, these amazing soldiers of short stature who sacrificed their lives for their work, no one has been able to compete with such great warriors, nor will anyone be able to do so in the future.